Okay, let's unpack this. We've got a stack of fascinating sources in front of us.
Yeah, really interesting stuff.
And they're digging into something that's completely reshaping, well, one of the oldest industries out there, banking.
Hmm.
Specifically, we're talking about how AI and technology have fundamentally transformed the skills needed,
Right.
especially within capital markets and treasury functions.
And it's not just, a minor update. This is a profound evolution.
Totally.
Think about the roles people held back in the 1990s versus what's expected today, maybe around 2025.
Yeah, quite the leap.
So our mission for this deep dive is really to take these sources, pull out the most important uh, nuggets of knowledge.
Yeah, understand this, a massive shift.
Exactly.
We want to see what exactly changed, what powerful new tools are driving all this.
And those new jobs that have popped up.
Right, these kind of hybrid roles that didn't even exist before. And maybe most importantly, what it all means for you.
Yeah, whether you're working in finance, thinking about it, or just, curious.
Curious about how AI is fundamentally changing industries. It really affects the whole landscape.
It's a world where, roles once dominated by manual processes, stacks of spreadsheets.
Uh-huh. And gut feeling, intuition.
Right. Now it's AI enhanced, powered by real-time data, moving incredibly fast.
Okay, so to really get a handle on the scale of this, let's go back. The 1990s banking world.
Okay. Capital markets first.
Yeah.
Well, the environment was incredibly manually intensive.
Lots of paper, I imagine.
Oh, yeah. People literally poring over printed reports, building complex financial models, laboriously in spreadsheets.
Basic Excel, maybe some macros.
Pretty much. And trading floors, noisy, dominated by voice trading, yelling across rooms, down phones.
Right, and compliance.
Compliance audits were mostly periodic,
Yeah.
looking back after the fact.
Reactive.
Yeah. The tech stack was relatively basic. Bloomberg, Reuters terminals for data.
Alongside those trusty spreadsheets.
Exactly.
Okay, and treasury functions? Similar story?
Very similar, yeah. A lot of manual effort. Cash forecasting, often done via spreadsheets.
Relying on historical trends.
Mostly. And manual data input from systems that didn't talk to each other. FX hedging policies were frequently static, decided way in advance, not really dynamically adjusted.
So set and forget, almost.
Kind of. And tracking liquidity meant waiting for those overnight bank statements to land.
Then manually putting it all together.
Right. And the systems underpinning it all.
Yeah.
Often legacy ERP systems, lots of manual data entry, manual processing.
Got it. So the skills valued back then reflected that whole environment.
Absolutely. In cap markets, you needed strong financial modeling skills, which back then meant being an Excel wizard.
Right.
A deep understanding of macroeconomics was vital, and credentials like a CFA or an MBA were really sought after.
And communication, people skills.
Paramount. Relationship building, fundamental research, digging into company reports. For Treasury folks,
Excel again.
foundational, definitely. Plus, skills in reconciliation, understanding interest rate risk, currency risk.
Familiarity with those legacy ERPs.
Yep. And knowing the regulations, like Basel Line 2, maybe the CTP certification. It was about mastering the manual stuff and understanding the finance concepts.
Okay, now let's jump forward. Today, the 2020s. We're deep in this AI-driven transformation.
And the landscape looks dramatically different.
How so in capital markets?
Well, algorithmic trading isn't just, present. It's dominant in many areas.
Okay.
And natural language processing, NLP, that's huge now, instantly summarizing market news, earnings calls, even social media sentiment.
Things humans couldn't possibly do at that speed.
Exactly. Extracting signals way faster. Predictive analytics, powered by machine learning, are forecasting prices, volatility with more nuance.
And the data access.
That's transformed too. Cloud platforms, APIs.
Yeah.
They mean real-time, low-latency access to vast amounts of data from anywhere.
Fundamentally changes how trading decisions get made.
Totally. And treasury functions. An equally profound revolution.
So no more spreadsheets for forecasting.
Well, much less. Now it's AI and machine learning models providing far more precise dynamic cash flow and FX forecasting.
Using real-time data streams.
Right. Integrating everything. And treasury management systems, TMS, they're not siloed anymore.
Integrated with ERPs, banking APIs.
Deeply integrated, giving you real-time dashboards of global liquidity risk positions.
What about the repetitive tasks? Reconciliation.
That's where robotic process automation, RPA, comes in. It handles the rules-based stuff, reconciliation, payments, data entry.
Freeing people up.
Exactly. And cloud analytics allow for really sophisticated scenario testing. simulating interest rate shocks, stress tests.
Moving from reactive to proactive.
That's the goal, proactive resilience.
Okay, so what are the core technologies making all this possible? The sources seem to list quite a few.
Yeah, it's a whole toolkit. Machine learning, NLP, like we said,
Yeah.
RPA for automation.
Blockchain gets mentioned too.
Yeah, explorations there, especially for things like faster settlement with tokenized assets, but underpinning a lot of it.
Cloud APIs.
Definitely. Cloud computing, APIs for connectivity and scale, integrated TMS systems.
Data lakes. Dashboards.
Yeah. Centralizing and visualizing information, and specific automation tools, like UiPath, Blue Prism.
It sounds like a tech stack built for speed, scale, intelligence.
It really is.
Yeah.
And what's truly fascinating is how these techs haven't just changed the tools.
They've reshaped the skills needed.
Fundamentally, demanding entirely new competencies.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, right? The direct impact on people. Let's look at that skill evolution. Education, for instance. Big shift there.
Huge. MBAs, finance degrees, the CFA is still valuable, sure, but they're increasingly combined with a strong STEM background. Science, technology, engineering, math.
So you're seeing comp sci grads in finance roles.
Absolutely. Math, data science grads, even PhDs working directly in roles that used to be purely finance.
Your baseline expectation has changed. You need fluency in both.
You got it.
And research and analysis, perfect example of that blend. 90s was manual Excel crunching, reading printed reports.
Right. Whereas today, analysts are using Python, R, for complex data analysis.
Pulling real-time data via APIs.
Yep. Using NLP tools to summarize massive amounts of text, earnings calls, news feeds, building automated models that run constantly.
The speed and scale are just different.
Completely different.
Trading, too. From voice, order books, gut instinct.
To predominantly electronic and algorithmic. Traders now need to understand complex algo strategies.
Often built using machine learning models.
Often, yeah. And the focus is on execution speed. Milliseconds matter.
So the role is less about making individual calls, more about managing automated systems.
Designing, managing, optimizing those systems. That's a good way to put it.
And data use exploded, right? From just Bloomberg or Reuters.
To integrating that with web scraping for alternative data, tracking social media sentiment, maybe geolocation data.
And using AI tools like ChatGPT or Kensho.
Yeah, leveraging those powerful tools to extract deep insights from unstructured text data all over the web, finding value in diverse, fast-changing data.
Decision-making itself must have changed. Used to be slower, human-driven.
Now it's often human-in-the-loop AI.
Meaning?
Decisions are informed by real-time dashboards synthesizing huge amounts of data. Complex strategies might use reinforcement learning to optimize. The human role shifts.
From being the sole decision-maker.
To overseeing, validating, guiding these intelligent systems.
Which brings us to the tools and tech required today. Worlds away from Excel macros, Lotus 123.
Oh, absolutely. The standard toolkit now. Programming languages like Python, SQL for data stuff.
Git for version control, managing code.
Essential for collaboration. Familiarity with cloud platforms, AWS, GCP. Understanding container orchestration like Kubernetes.
For deploying applications efficiently.
Right. And using interactive environments like Jupyter Notebooks for developing and sharing analysis.
It really is a developer's toolkit applied to finance.
It is.
Compliance has changed too. From manual checks, periodic audits.
To AI-based real-time surveillance. Systems flagging suspicious activity instantly. Using specialized RegTech solutions.
And there's this need for explainable AI. XAI.
Critically important. The ability to understand why an AI model made a decision. Vital for audits, regulators.
Okay, let's swing back to Treasury quickly. Those changes are just as big. Manual cash forecasting.
Now handled by sophisticated AML models, integrating real-time transaction data, giving much greater accuracy.
Liquidity management, waiting for overnight statements.
Now driven by real-time data, feeds into TMS dashboards via APIs. Instant global cash positions. Even blockchain trials for faster settlement data.
FX risk. Manual hedging strategies.
Evolving towards predictive analytics, dynamic hedging guided by ML models that react to markets in real time.
And those legacy ERP systems.
Replaced or heavily integrated with modern platforms like SAP, Kyriba, enabling automated workflows, pulling data seamlessly.
Data analysis and Treasury from static reports.
To real-time interactive dashboards.
Yeah.
Power BI, Tableau, with AI spotting anomalies instantly.
And reconciliation. That tedious spreadsheet task.
Largely handled by RPA bots now. Using AI pattern detection for matching complex data. Frees up people for higher value work.
Even communication feels different. Less phone and fax.
More instant messaging like Slack, Jira, collaborative cloud tools for real-time info sharing across teams.
This whole shift in skills,
Yeah.
it highlights something crucial about learning, doesn't it?
Yeah, the learning curve itself has changed dramatically. It's less about that long, traditional apprenticeship.
The sources really emphasize agile upskilling, online courses, MOOCs, boot camps.
Specialized boot camps, rapid on-the-job learning, it has to be faster. And the value creation, fundamentally shifted.
It's not just deep finance knowledge anymore.
Not in isolation. It's operating at that intersection.
Yeah.
Finance, technology, and increasingly understanding AI ethics.
That ability to bridge disciplines, that's where the real value is now.
Precisely.
And this blend has led to entirely new hybrid roles,
Yeah.
jobs that just didn't exist in the 90s.
Exactly. These jobs need fluency in both worlds. We're seeing titles like AI product manager in cap markets.
Designing AI-driven trading platforms.
Or research platforms. Quantitative risk engineers building complex models using advanced data techniques.
Compliance data scientists. Using AI for surveillance.
Yep. AI model validators crucial for auditing AI fairness and transparency for regulators.
You also mentioned quant NLP strategists.
Building models to get signals from text. Algorithmic traders who are more like sophisticated software engineers now.
Right. Compliance tech analysts implementing reg tech. Model risk specialists.
Focusing purely on the risks in complex models.
Right.
And in Treasury. Roles like Treasury AI analyst applying ML to forecasting.
FX quant strategists building automated hedging models.
Risk analytics developers. Treasury automation engineers designing RPA workflows. Treasury data scientists.
FX risk quants, TMS integration specialists connecting all the systems.
It's a clear trend. Roles demanding that fusion of skills.
And that's why these hybrid roles are so crucial, right? They need people who speak both markets and machine learning.
Or data science, yeah.
Yeah.
Data literacy is just as fundamental now as financial literacy was.
The skill expectations aren't just about adding tools, it's changing the whole approach.
Totally. Moving from manual spreadsheet modeling to writing Python and Jupyter notebooks.
Reading macro reports versus getting insights from NLP tools.
Transforming static dashboards into real-time interactive ones.
And shifting from purely human decisions to guiding human-in-the-loop AI.
Exactly.
Okay, this has huge strategic implications, both for professionals and for the banks themselves.
For professionals, yeah. Upskilling in AI and data tools. The sources basically say it's non-negotiable now.
To stay relevant, they mention platforms like DataCamp, Coursera.
Or CFA plus AI electives, things like that.
And these hybrid roles pay well.
They command premium salaries, yeah. Because that blend of expertise is essential.
And understanding model risk, AI ethics.
Becoming a core competency, not just niche. Regulators are watching closely.
Interesting point. As automation takes over rote tasks, soft skills become more vital.
Even more vital, critical thinking, storytelling with data, collaborating across different technical teams, solving complex problems AI can't yet.
And for the banks, what are the implications?
Well, their hiring has to change. Prioritize data fluency, adaptability, cross-domain thinking.
Training needs to adapt to agile methods, tech fluency.
And crucially, how humans and AI can effectively collaborate. Retention of this hybrid talent is key.
Requires investment in AI infrastructure, presumably.
Significant investment. And fostering an innovation culture, but also working with regulators on responsible AI governance.
It's also interesting how this plays out differently across regions, North America.
High investment there. Focus on automation, customer experience, risk management. The sources mention JP Chase.
They built their own generative AI platform.
Yeah, and deployed something like 100 AI tools across the bank. Trading, marketing, productivity boost.
What about Europe?
Seeing AI in client engagement research. UBS, for instance, using AI avatars of analysts for video insights.
Meeting demand for dynamic content.
All right, and Asia, particularly India's financial sector.
Seeing agentic AI emerging.
Yeah, AI systems designed to interpret complex stuff and act autonomously in real time, pushing the boundaries of automation.
Okay, looking ahead just a few years, 2025, 2030, what do the sources project?
Continued AI expansion, more sophisticated decision-making, risk assessment.
Demand for hybrid pros will keep rising.
Only increase. And regulatory frameworks around AI, bias, privacy, explainability will keep developing.
More automation for efficiency.
Definitely. The key takeaway for banks really is focused execution, aligning strategy, tech, governance, talent.
To build relationships, manage costs, stay competitive.
In this rapidly changing world, yeah.
So, if we take a step back from all this, The core message from our deep dive seems clear.
Yeah,
The banking world, especially cap markets and Treasury, fundamentally reshaped. By tech, by AI.
completely.
The skill set needed isn't just an update, it's a genuine blend of finance and tech.
Adaptability, continuous learning, no longer optional, they're essential.
And alongside mastering those new tools, those techniques.
Understanding model risk, AI ethics, keeping up with regulations is becoming just as critical.
Yeah, absolutely crucial for success.
It really is.
It's a world moving incredibly fast. AI making decisions, automating processes. So, given this pace, this deep integration, here's something to think about.
Okay.
How do you think the banking world effectively balances that need for speed and automation with the, irreplaceable value of human judgment, human intuition, especially as regulatory focus on AI ethics and explainability just keeps increasing?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Definitely something to mull over as these technologies keep evolving.